Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream. And today we got a special guest from our division rivalry, Ray from Dear Pats Nation. Welcome in, Ray. How you doing today, man?
Pretty good. How you doing, Richie?
We're doing good. We're both coming off L's, and now we are going to be previewing our Week 2 matchup. It's the home opener for MetLife and the New York Jets. We have not been in the stadium for a full year. No NFL fan has been in the stadium for a full year, so it's going to be a pretty awesome experience. I'm going to be there. But, guys, make sure you guys check out Ray's channel down below. He's a great Patriots fan, and that's coming from a Jets fan. Obviously, we do not like the Patriots. Patriots don't like the Jets. But if you ever want to get a different perspective of what's going on with our division rivalry, you want to get some Patriots news, definitely go down there and check out Dear Pats Nation's YouTube channel down below in the description. So, Ray, let's get right into it, man. First and foremost, do you want to just introduce yourself for the people that don't know who you are? I know that you have been on the AFC East roundtable for a couple weeks, so you might have some people that recognize you there. But for the people that don't know who you are, just want to introduce yourself, Ray?
Yeah, man. So I'm Ray. I'm with Dear Pats Nation. Just to build on what Richie says, I don't like Patriot fans either, and my audience knows that. So it's everybody's welcome. Yeah, you can find us on our YouTube page, Dear Pats Nation. I'm also a broadcaster over on an app called Colorcast, where I do a sort of what's called the Patriots News Desk, where we break down Patriots news every day, or Monday to Thursday live at 7 p.m. You can find me on Newsbreak, where I do short reports. So kind of find us everywhere. And you can always download our podcast or just look up Dear Pats Nation. So, yeah, man, we're fun. It's me and my partner Connor do a lot of the stuff. We're just fun fans. We're a bit of homers. Well, Connor's a homer. I'm more of the more realistic fan. And Connor loves Patriot fans, and I spend most of the time talking about how much I hate the fan base. So I think you guys will just, you'll find a good balance on our show.
I love that you hate the Patriots fans, and I want to get into that later on, which is why you hate the Patriots fan base. But first and foremost, let's talk about this matchup. But before we do that, I want to hear your thoughts about the Patriots' loss to the Miami Dolphins. That was a division matchup, went down to the wire. Damian Harris fumbled the ball. You guys were in a really good situation to win the game, and the running back just did not really, get the job done. So first and foremost, what was your thoughts on Mac Jones' debut and your overall game against the Dolphins?
Well, first of all, you said the word Patriots loss is the right way to describe it. It wasn't a Dolphins win as far as I'm concerned. If you look statistically, the Patriots dominated the Dolphins on every category, but the most important, which ended up being the scoreboard. The Patriots lost, Richie, in the most unpatriot of ways. Four fumbles, 2 of those turning into turnovers, and 8 penalties equaling 84 yards. People talk about Mac Jones only putting up 16 points, only scoring 1 touchdown, but the penalties negated a lot. Kendrick Bourne had 67 yards in receiving taken away from him by holding penalties on the offensive line. One of our field goals was a field goal because the Patriots got 1st and goal from the 1-yard line, which turned into a 2nd and 20 from the 30-yard line because of a holding call that had nothing to do with the previous play. It was on the other side of the field and didn't interfere at all. The Patriots just continuously kept shooting themselves in the foot. And then, Ramondre Stevenson fumbles and doesn't fight for the football. He just walks away from the play. And then, yeah, I mean, I was so gutted after that loss because in a different Patriots era, and I'm not even talking with just having Tom Brady as the quarterback, the Patriots are probably scoring at least 24, 28 points in that game. But every time they got into the red zone, and people, and some of the feedback that you would have heard about Mac Jones, I'll get deeper into Mac Jones in a second, was, well, he can't score in the red zone, 4 opportunities in the red zone, walked away with 2 field goals and 1 touchdown. It's not good enough. They kept getting knocked. They were in the red zone. Every time they got any sort of progression going forward, the Patriots either fumbled the football or took a penalty that knocked them out of the red zone. And it really didn't come on Mac Jones. Mac Jones had probably the worst start to a rookie quarterback could have had. He threw the ball backwards on his first throw, and we lost 23 yards because that turns into a fumble. And then after that, I believe that he looked like an NFL quarterback. He still has a lot to improve on, obviously, but he was reading defenses really well. And, if I can make a quick comparison for you, because I watched the Jets-Carolina game this morning before I came on, just so I could get a little bit of a better feel. I was watching it on Red Zone, but looking a little bit of a better feel. And the difference between Zach Wilson and Mac Jones in my eyes is you can see Wilson's ceiling. Don't get me wrong. I'm not insulting your quarterback. Don't take it offensively. Like, you can see the ceiling that he has. But to me, Zach looked a little bit more like a rookie than Mac Jones did, right? Outside of that one kind of stupid play, if you never watched football before and just watched the game and had the sound off, you probably never would have guessed that Mac Jones was a rookie quarterback. He looked poised. He looked in control. He ran the Patriots offense, screen passes, check downs, took a couple shots downfield. They ran the football really well. Where Zach Wilson, the interception, he was under pressure, never should have let it go over the middle. Then he almost threw another one, I think, in the next possession, the one after. Again, another ball under pressure, shouldn't have went. A couple of times he looked like he was panicking under pressure. He'll learn. He's going to get better, and then by next year, he's probably going to look so poised. Like I said, you guys got a high ceiling, where I think Mac Jones' ceiling, honest to God, I told people last night, I think that we've hit Mac Jones' ceiling. Like, he is what he is as a quarterback. He's going to get better in areas, but I don't think we're going to see significant differences in his games. But when you look at a Zach Wilson, I think you're going to see things build in that game as well, especially if you could protect him a little bit. So that was when I compared the two quarterbacks, because I thought those were the two best rookie quarterbacks on the field on Sunday. That was sort of my comparison, is you could see Zach was a rookie, where except for that first drive, I didn't see it in Mac Jones.
Yeah, man. My thoughts of Mac Jones is he looks very comfortable. He looks very poised, and he definitely doesn't look like a rookie quarterback. And whether that's, the system around him, he has protection. He has a very good system around him that's making him feel that way. Maybe because Zach Wilson was running for his goddamn life the entire game, and I was at the game, Ray, and I really couldn't take it. It looked like Sam Darnold all over again in terms of him not being able to get comfortable. There was like the first half, I don't think he had one opportunity to plant his feet like once and actually get an actual pass down the field, and it was super frustrating. And Sam Darnold's on the sideline looking at Zach like, yeah, that's what it's like. That's what it's like running for your life. And I'm like, wow, like it just looked like an absolute disgrace in terms of the offensive line. And we had a lot of high expectations for this O-line in terms of just having a, not looking like what they did last year. And that's exactly what happened. The Carolina Panthers just took advantage of the stunts and us not having like a full preseason together because our rookie Elijah Vera Tucker was injured throughout training camp. But Mac Jones definitely feels like a veteran presence right now. And I feel like he's a quarterback that has poise and looks very comfortable in the system. And I feel like a big factor of that is the Patriots offensive line, which is really good. And when you have protection, that gives the quarterback a lot of time to understand and have trust in his guys. Zach Wilson's problem so far is he looked like he started to lose faith in his offensive line, where he would move out to the right or left a little too soon. And that's not really his fault because the O-line looked that bad. So I feel like Zach is going to get more comfortable and more poised. And I will say this about Zach Wilson, in my opinion, where the first half, he was all over the place because of the protection issues. The second half, the protection issues did not get cleaned up. They were still terrible, but he learned from it, and he had a really good grasp of how to deal with the pressure. And those touchdown drives that he had were pretty remarkable. He was having these crazy throws where, like you said, he has that ceiling where Jets fans look at this throw and we're like, whoa, we need that at a consistent basis. But the problem is we're not going to get that at a consistent basis if we do not protect the kid. And that's the problem right now with this Jets team. Our left tackle, as you know, Mekhi Becton, is out with a knee injury for the next 4 to 6 weeks. He might even get surgery, which will make him out even longer. That was a terrible blow to our offensive line. But overall, Ray, what's your thoughts of Zach Wilson as the game went on? Because the first half, he couldn't get anything going. The run game was getting shut down. And this offense for the Jets, it's all about establishing a run game. If you do not establish a run game, that's going to make the rookie quarterback's job a lot harder, and we did not do that for him. So he had a lot on his shoulders. He was getting pressure down his throat, and then in the second half, late in the third quarter, he finally got into a groove. He finally understood how to deal with the pressure. He would do a play action, and there'd be a free runner in his face immediately. He had to dodge him and just, run around. He got sacked, I think, 6 times, hit 10 times. So what was your thoughts of Zach Wilson being able to, as the game progressed, learn how to deal with the pressure, because he was getting sacked and pressured all game long?
I saw 2 things. One was Zach Wilson, another was the team. You guys had a lot of drops in the first half. A lot. Knox, is that your tight end? He's Croft, sorry. He's not very good. I'm sorry. Like he dropped everything that was in his direction. That was my biggest takeaway from the first half. It's funny that you guys were playing Sam Darnold, who actually the Panthers had a lot of drops on their side too, and I think that kind of kept the game closer in the first half. Because I think if you would have been able to read Zach Wilson's mind, and I saw a few examples of this in the second half, I think he was seeing ghosts a little bit as well, just because of how poor that offensive line played. He underthrew, I think, Corey Davis at one point, where he kind of threw it at his feet, where he had time to throw the ball, and you could just see him trying to get rid of it. He could feel the pressure coming, but the pressure actually wasn't there yet, right? Yeah. And I think, you're right, when you're running for your life, you're getting hit, you're getting beat up. It's it's going to hurt. I think that, and I don't want to go, I know we're going to get deeper into this. Where I think that's going to hurt, though, is Carolina didn't have the dogs on the secondary to take advantage of those kind of plays. Some of those throws that Zach Wilson made, especially on the run, and I mean that touchdown pass to Davis, the two of them, Davis to be a veteran enough to know to follow him across the field, for Wilson to get out. If you guys are kind of lucky in the sense of we're not going to have Stephon Gilmore on the field, because if he was, those kind of plays are the ones that, like a Patriots secondary, and even the one that is going to be there, that's where they thrive on interceptions. Because as good as Corey Davis was reading what Zach Wilson wanted to do, our secondary, especially our safeties, are very good at reading what those scrambling quarterbacks are as well, which is why we've, for the most part, I know people can show different examples, but they've done pretty well against the Patrick Mahomes and the Russell Wilsons and the Josh Allens of the world, when they're all healthy and all together, because they're good at those ball hawks. And again, and I think there was a few opportunities where Wilson threw the ball when he was creating plays, when I thought, kid, you could have got a 10-yard run right there. You know what I mean? Like, you had it, you had open field in front of you. You had no okay, you threw the ball. It was a good defensive player. Your receiver dropped it, but you could have picked up 10 yards on the run. And I think that's, to me, where he showed his rookie. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was super impressed with him. I mean, oh no, I was talking to Ryan, not you. But I was doing an AFC sort of roundtable with Ryan from the other Jets channel that I would forget what it's called. And I told him off air, because I don't like to admit it on air, but to me, Zach Wilson was the best in preseason. And I think that when it's all said and done, I know everybody's in love with Trevor Lawrence, but I'm much more impressed with Zach Wilson than I am with Trevor Lawrence, to be honest with you, not just from their debuts, but from what I think the ceilings they kind of have. Like I said, with Mac Jones, I don't know how much success Mac Jones has in the NFL if he doesn't play for the Patriots, where he's going to run the perfect system that's perfectly built for him, right? You got to have the right coaching staff around him, and this is the perfect system. Check downs, play actions, he'll take his deep shots when he can, where Zach Wilson's going to be really, really good. But unfortunately, my biggest takeaway is it's same old Jets, quarterback under constant pressure and can't run the football, and just same old Jets. And that's going to hurt him as the year goes on. And what you don't want with him is, especially a young quarterback, people always think about the older quarterbacks, but the younger quarterbacks, it hurts when you get hit. You know, like I was an offensive lineman in college and high school and whatever. And, you know, it hurt as an offensive lineman when you got hit, you know, so when the quarterback, and you're not getting those full on blows, if that continues, and that Patriots front seven is vicious. And I thought that Matthew Judon was going to break 2.5 on one of his hits. You know, it could regress him a little bit, but no, I think he's really good. You guys got a really, really good quarterback. And if you can put a line and protect him a little bit, he's going to be so good. Again, I told you months ago, this isn't the Jets year. I still see you guys as a 2-year project, but in 2 years, I don't want to face the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, that I like that you say that, because Jets fans have to ground their expectations as well, because I understand where you're coming from, Ray, because that's exactly where my mindset is with this Jets team, because not only do we have a rookie quarterback, but we have a rookie head coach. We have a rookie offensive play caller who's 34 years old, who has never called plays in his life. So this is a learning experience for everybody. I mean, that week 1 performance was, the jitters were out there. Robert Saleh had to understand the substitution, how to call timeouts, how to do this. Offensive play caller had to get into situations and know when to call the plays. Zach Wilson had to read the defenses and do all these things. So, you know, we are a team that needs to build a foundation, and this is the year to do that. And I'm not expecting a lot of W's this year. All I want to see from the Jets is being in every single game and fighting to the end. And that's what really stood out to me against this the Jets-Panthers game, is we were down 16-0 at half. The adjustments were made from Robert Saleh, and we finished off the game losing by 1 possession, came down to an onside kick. That really stood out to me, because the first half looked like an absolute nightmare and nothing was going in our way. And then for Robert Saleh to really revamp his defense, the defense kept us in that game the entire time. I mean, I rewatched it over and over again, and the amount of times this defense really gave the ball back to the offense, and the offense just kept getting, you know, not even 3 and outs, just there's no run game, and that's what really held this team back. But without getting into the week 1 anymore, let's move forward to week number 2. But before we do that, I just want to give you guys one word from our sponsor of today's stream, BetQL. So we'll see you guys in 60 seconds. Want to take an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you a best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do the research yourself? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineup and injury breaking news, and even leaderboards to track your success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.com/JetsMedia to get started now. Enter the discount code JetsMedia at payment checkout for 25% off of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also, make sure you check out the Sportsbook offers page if you live in one of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up at one of the many sportsbooks listed. Don't miss out on your chance to beat the sportsbook this football season. So BetQL's best bets algorithm went 13-2 on 5-star bets for the Week 1 and NFL season between Thursday and Sunday. So please do not miss out on your chance to beat your sportsbook by using all the BetQL offers. Down below in the description, use my code for 25% off. So now, Ray, let's get into the game on Sunday, Jets Patriots. So if there was a concern that you have with the Jets team that you feel like the Patriots really need to hone in on in order to win this game, if any, what would that be?
Yeah, so I actually put together a comprehensive list. I'm proud of myself, Richie. I put in effort to come on your stream today.
I love it.
But if you wanted me to talk about, I think the biggest threat that's against the Patriots, it's believe it or not, your receiving core.
And we're getting healthier. We're getting 2 veterans back this week that we did not have last week, just so you know. Jamison Crowder and Keelan Cole. They were out Week 1.
Yeah. To be honest with you, Crowder and Cole don't strike fear into me at all.
Yeah, I know. It's just depth.
But believe it or not, our old practice squad kid, Braxton Berrios, is one of the ones who scares me for this game against the Patriots. Corey Davis, obviously, I mean, he's a legit number one. You guys got a legit number one receiver for a long time that Zach Wilson can grow with. But the Miami Dolphins absolutely crushed the Patriots defense last week on quick slants. Tua threw 180 yards of passing last week. 111 of those 180 were yak yards. Okay? Because the Patriots could not tackle anybody when they got the ball. And look, you don't have the full talent of Waddle and Parker. I get that. But guys like Berrios, this is where the game could be for him. Guys like Davis, slant plays. If Saleh was paying attention last week, every time you throw that football, you're looking for a quick, high percentage slant, which against any normal team will get you 3 or 4 yards. Against the Patriots, those were becoming 10, 11-yard plays. That was probably the most frustrating piece of it. I would have said the run game, the Patriots' run defense is still not fully flipped, but after watching your guys' run game and offensive line last week, I don't have fear of that this week. But you have fast receivers. And then Zach Wilson being able to create those plays, one thing the Patriots secondary is susceptible to, even though I just said they're ball hawks and they can pick them off in those plays, the Patriots secondary is susceptible to losing receivers after a while. So if Wilson is able to move around a little bit, that could create separation, especially for a Corey Davis. But I wouldn't even be looking downfield. I'd be just if I'm throwing slants the whole game, and the Patriots will give it to you, and you'll get first downs on almost every throw. Because our open field tackling, I've said it's been a problem for the last 15 years, but it's definitely what we saw last week based on one game. It's still a problem this year.
That's interesting. I love that you're, the receivers are something you're looking out for. And that is something that Zach Wilson is really good at, being able to extend the play, scramble, drill. And we saw that, especially when the offensive line is not protecting him. So what I'm most worried about going into this game against the Patriots is the simple fact of the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. The Jets lost at the line of scrimmage against the Panthers, and that's why we evidently lost the game. Offensively, the offensive line played way worse than the defensive line. The defensive line actually had the highest win rate in pass rush in week 1, but we only got 1 sack. So Sam Darnold's game plan was to get rid of the ball quickly. He literally, I don't think he held the ball more than 3 seconds once. He was just dunk, dunk, dunk. So we could never really get to him in terms of sacking him, but we hit him a ton. And I'm expecting this Jets defensive line to really, get to Mac Jones. And this Patriots offensive line is very good. And that's what gives me concerns, because I feel like they're going to have a really good game plan to attack the Jets defensive line. Because I feel like the Jets, the defense, it's all about getting to the quarterback. Without getting pressure on the QB, it's going to make the defensive scheme completely fail. And that's the same exact thing on the offense. Without the offensive line creating holes for the running game, the offense is going to fail. And that's where the Jets lost this game last week. So that's what the biggest concern is for me. The biggest concern on any side of the ball, it's definitely obviously the Jets offensive line going up against Bill Belichick's defense, because not only do you guys have a really good defensive front that scares me, it's Bill Belichick's mind, it's his stunts, it's his packages, it's his disguise blitzes, it's all these crazy things that you throw at you at a rookie quarterback where it confuses the hell out of these rookie quarterbacks. So Zach Wilson, he's a film junkie. That's what people always say. He is one of the most intelligent quarterbacks in terms of just being obsessed over watching film, understanding the defenses. So this is a huge test for him mentally. How is he going to be able to read this Patriots defense? Because he's going to go out there, he's going to read a defense, he's going to expect something, and then it's going to be the opposite. So what Zach Wilson needs to do is he expect the unexpected, and he needs to understand that there's going to be pressure in his face more often than not. But at the same time, he needs to trust his offensive line, even though it doesn't really play that well. Because if you don't trust your O-line, then you're not going to be able to stay in the pocket and fire it, that one hitch, get the ball out quickly. And that's the one thing that's concerning. With this Jets offensive line, with Mekhi Becton going out, our right tackle slides to the left side, and then we have Morgan Moses sliding at right tackle. And it's really interesting, Ray, because all offseason we had a right tackle competition between the veterans Morgan Moses and George Fant. And then Robert Saleh did not name the starter at the right tackle spot all the way until the game started, and George Fant won the job. And a lot of Jets fans didn't agree with that decision. We're like, why George Fant? Morgan Moses has been a rock for Washington for 6 years straight, never missed a game. He's a dog in the run game. Why is he not starting? And then when Morgan Moses came in, when Mekhi Becton went out and Fant slid to the left side, that right side actually looked way better. And Ty Johnson had a nice 10-yard run behind him. So hopefully Morgan Moses can be someone that can really help out this offensive line, because like I said over and over again, without opening holes in the running game, without protecting Zach Wilson, the offense is going to have a very long day, especially against a guy like Bill Belichick. So another thing I want to talk about with you, Ray, is basically your expectations for this game in terms of what do you want to see the Patriots take advantage of? Is it the Jets offensive line? Is it, what do you want to see them defensively, offensively speaking? So on both sides of the ball, what do you want to see this Patriots team do to the Jets in order to get this W?
All right, so I'm going to preface this so your audience doesn't get mad at me, because if anybody just came in, they think I'm this arrogant Patriot fan. First of all, Richie, you and I, a few months ago, were in an AFC East roundtable, and I told you I thought the Jets were going to win 3 to 4 games this season, right?
Yeah.
I've bumped that up now to 5 or 6, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think that they're a better team. That being said, I still have the Patriots winning 8 or 9, so it's not like I have Super Bowl aspirations for the Patriots. Yeah. The Jets, based on what I saw in Carolina, there's not a lot. I didn't watch any of your preseason, and preseason doesn't tell us anything anyways, right? It might for you guys a little bit, but based on what I saw in Carolina, you don't match up well against the Patriots. You do some things good, and what you do well. If I can go through my list really quickly here, and I'll kind of show you where I saw these matchups. So first of all, the thing that impressed me the most, and this might sound dumb, and this is the most Patriots answer you could ever get, but your punt coverage is elite, like elite. Your punt coverage. Carolina
could see our kicker come in and be our punter, because our punter got hurt.
And besides that one sort of shank that he had to kick again anyways because of a penalty, which I'm sure Carolina regretted ever accepting.
Yeah.
He kicked phenomenal, and he was place punting too. He wasn't just booting it down the field.
It was crazy.
But every time, you guys were there. You guys reminded me of Patriots punt coverage. So unfortunately, Gunnar Olszewski is an all-pro punt returner. And for the Patriots. So I kind of have that as a wash. Again, it's something that against any other team is probably, field position's important, especially in a game like this, right? But against any other team, but I call it a wash. I think Gunner's going to get you guys. I think you're going to get Gunner. I think it's going to be a mix. Zach Wilson makes those plays happen. the Patriots have a very athletic front seven. They also run a 3-4, not a 4-3. So the linebackers are ready. If you watched the game last week, they played sort of a loose zone, and our linebackers were watching Tua, so Tua couldn't run around, and he didn't get a lot of movement. When he did, again, he almost got completely decapitated by Matthew Judon. The quick receivers, that's where there's nothing the Patriots have to learn how to tackle, which sounds, you know what I mean? And that's where you guys could take advantage of it. So I want them to cover that. And then of course I would go man-to-man coverage with a single high safety on top for Corey Davis and just take him out of the game. And that's one thing that Bill Belichick does the best, is take your best player out of the game. You have a solid pass rush, but the Patriots have a top 5 offensive line. And you might turn around, there's going to be Jet fans and say, well, but Trent Brown might be out of the game because we lost our right tackle last week. Unfortunately, we also have Ted Karras sitting on the bench, who's actually a starting level interior offensive lineman. So we can just kick Mike Onwenu, who's now our left guard, kick him back to right tackle, where he played all last season, where he was ranked as the 3rd highest ranked rookie amongst all rookies last season. He kicks out to right tackle. Ted Karras kicks into left guard, and our offensive line. And I call it a wash. I think that you guys are going to disrupt. I think we're going to get you. I think it's going to be a 50-50, but it's an area you could probably dominate a lot of teams. You just won't be able to dominate the Patriots. The problem is your weaknesses. Your weaknesses play right into the Patriots' weaknesses or play right into the Patriots' strengths. You have shaky run defense. The Patriots probably have a top 3 running back room. Damian Harris had 100 yards last week. You guys had no answer for Christian McCaffrey last week. He was just killing you guys. Not to the same talent level as Christian McCaffrey, but we have like 4 Christian McCaffreys on our team who can run the football, catch the football, can do all the things that Christian McCaffrey does, and they'll rotate those guys in and out of the rotation all the time. You couldn't get the run game going. It looks like you're going to continue to struggle to get the run game going. That's probably the weakest part of the Patriots defense. So I call it a wash. You guys will probably get a few runs, but it's not something. If you guys had a run game, you guys could have dominated New England and just ran the football all over it. And lastly, Zach Wilson and sort of those rookie things that I talked about, right? Like not running when you should be throwing and not doing some of the things. That's the kind of stuff that the Patriots eat for dinner. And that's the kind of stuff that Bill Belichick eats for dinner. So that's sort of my breakdown. Is this Jets team's not actually bad. It's not good or great, but it's not a bad team. You know what I mean? It's not as bad as I think people thought. But you do not, in my opinion, from the one game I could watch, and maybe when we get to week, 7 or 8, when we play again, there'll be more tape on both teams to see. But from what I saw from both teams week 1, the Jets don't match up well to the Patriots.
They don't. And I agree with that. And that's why, it's really hard for me to say with confidence that I think the Jets are going to get this W. I'll tell you how the Jets I'll tell you what the Jets need to do in order to beat you guys. And this is something that, we did not see in Carolina. So this is something that we have to see them adjust. Number 1, we need explosive plays on offense. There was a lot of explosive plays that were left on the table. We have a lot of high expectations as Jets fans for a rookie wide receiver, Elijah Moore. He was a first-round talent that slid out of the second round. He went 2nd overall in the second round, 34th overall, I believe, and he was killing training camp. He looked like the star of training camp. He tweaks his quad. We did not see him once in the preseason. He had to slow down in training camp, and a lot of people outside of Jets fans, like in the NFL media world, was hyping up Elijah Moore. He's best friends with A.J. Brown. He was an Ole Miss wide receiver. Whatever. So Jets fans have a lot of expectations for this rookie wide receiver, and he did not have a good rookie debut. He had a little rookie jitters. I don't know if you noticed, but in that first quarter, that bomb that Zach Wilson had, a 60-yard bomb, put it in the bucket. I don't know how this throw even got there, but it was in Elijah Moore's hands, and that was that explosive play I'm talking about. If we can convert those 50, 60-yard bombs downfield and get those explosive plays, that's what's going to help out this offense, because I feel like we are capable of doing that. I think we were just missed out on it. There was a little, miscommunication. There was a lot of drops. And that drop that Elijah Moore had, that 60-yard bomb, was not an easy catch. It was in his hands, but there was a defender draped all over him. It was borderline PI. But I do expect him to start making those catches, because as Jets fans, we have a lot of expectations for this rookie wide receiver, Elijah Moore, who is a really shifty, quick slot receiver. So I need him to have a really good game because I feel like you said, they're going to shut down Corey Davis as much as they can. They're going to, man to man with a single high, and somebody else besides Corey Davis needs to step up in order for Zach Wilson to have a good game. Because if they shut down Corey Davis, who's that guy that's going to step up? Is it Braxton Berrios? Is it Crowder? Is it Elijah Moore? So I feel like offensively speaking, outside of the run game, because that's a given, we need explosive plays. And without explosive plays, that's not going to really help out this Jets offense, because we were so close to just flipping the script on offense last game, but we just cannot convert those. And I feel like this offense is capable of those explosive plays with a talent like Zach Wilson, because he has the arm to flick the ball 60 yards down the field somehow, that as a Jets fan, I'm not used to, and I'm still getting used to that. So I think on offense, like I said, we need to convert at least 2 or 3 explosive plays in order to get this victory. And then defensively speaking, we need to shut down the run game. Because I feel like I'd rather let Mac Jones beat us than you guys run all over us, because Mac Jones is still a rookie, even though he does look very poised and confident and like a veteran presence as a rookie. I'd rather, give the opportunity to Mac Jones to beat us than you guys just run all over us and, play the clock and all that. So defensively, I want to shut down the run game and make Mac Jones throw the ball at least 50 times this game in order for us to get the victory. And then offensively speaking, we need to get explosive plays. So that's really my thoughts about what we need to do in order to win. It's going to be a long shot. It's not going to be an easy one. And yeah, this is going to be a really, really interesting game, Ray. Like I said, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be screwing my ass off. It's going to be loud. Hopefully we can get it to Mac Jones's head so he can't hear the calls. Hopefully that will happen in our favor. It's going to be a division rivalry. We got Robert Saleh making his debut against Bill Belichick against a division rivalry. So it's going to be a really fun game. As a Jets fan, I'm just hoping that it goes down to the wire. Because I'm realistic. I'm hopeful for a W. I want to win, obviously, but I understand that this is not going to be an easy game, because all of your strengths goes right into our weaknesses, which is our offensive line and Bill Belichick's beautiful, terrible at the same time defensive looks that he's going to give us. And when I say terrible, that just means as a Jets perspective, because it's going to make our offense look terrible. So that's really it for this talk with Ray. We got into everything between the Jets and Patriots. Is there anything else you want to say before we end the stream, Ray, when it comes to this Jets-Patriots game?
Yeah. I told my audience last night when they were asking me about this game, and I said, for the Patriot fans who have the illusions of the playoffs this year, this game today or Sunday could be one of the most important games of the years. Not from a win-loss column. Not from a win-loss column. But if the Patriots don't destroy the Jets on Sunday, you know what I mean? Like, don't destroy the Jets on Sunday. They're kind of proving who I think they are. A good team, but not a great team. You know what I mean? And it's no disrespect to all you Jets fans out there. In 2 years, maybe even by next year, you're going to have a really, really good team. But as I talked about these matchups with your beat up offensive line, with the fact that you can't run the football, and good luck stopping Damian Harris, who's the best kept secret in the NFL. You know what I mean? Teams were stacking the 8 guys in the box, and he was still averaging 4.6 yards per carry last year. He just runs through people. It's a huge game. I told Patriot fans, if the Patriots walk away with a 3-point win or a 7-point win, it's not. I take it as a victory. But if you got playoff aspirations, I wouldn't take it as I wouldn't be taking that as a victory, because you're just proving you're the 3rd best team in the AFC East, which is where I think the Patriots sit right now. Don't tell Tyson.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a rough one, man. For as a Jets fan, I'm excited. Patriots fans, I think they're expecting a victory. The Patriots as a fan base, they're definitely expecting a blowout, probably, because after seeing what the Jets did against the Panthers, if they don't blow them out, or if they don't win this game, Patriots fans are not going to be happy, because 1, they lost to the Jets, and 2, they'll be 0-2. But hey, Ray, I really appreciate you taking time to come on the stream. You are a Patriots fan that I respect dearly. Everybody in the chat, make sure you guys go check out Dear Pats Nation. I know you guys are Jets fans. You don't want to hear about the Patriots, and your immediate reaction is looking at this guy, Ray, with his Patriots hat and Patriots, and we are used to him being with Tom Brady and destroying us. But he is a realistic Patriots fan that has a lot of optimistic things to say about Zach Wilson and the Jets. So respect to Ray. I appreciate you joining in, man. This is definitely not going to be the last time. I'd love to have you on the show when we verse each other. When is that, week 8 or 9 or 10? And
yep.
I'll be on your show tonight. So I appreciate you, Ray. Stay tuned for the AFC East Roundtable tonight as well to get into the dirty with TD, Dan, and master at work, Tyson. So it's going to be fun. So Ray, again, I appreciate you. And anything else you want to say before we end the stream based on what you're doing with content?
Oh, yeah, just come find us. I'm very complimentary to Zach Wilson. I talk highly about the Jets, believe it or not. I only talk bad about the Kansas City Chiefs. So come on in. We got a lot of Buffalo Bills fans in our chat. We got Jets fans in our chat. One of our biggest supporters is a Jets fan. We accept all. We're two guys that like to have fun and talk football. That's all it is.
Yeah. Make sure you guys check out Dear Pats Nation. He's not that Patriots fan that you expect. They're respectable. He's realistic and not delusional.
And I hate Patriots fans, so I yell at them more than I yell at you guys.
Yeah, he hates his own fan base. So how can you hate on Ray? All right, Ray, appreciate you. And guys,